How do we make these videos? Who is on the Mr. Who's the Boss team? What do we actually do with all the tech that we buy? I get a lot of questions about what it's really like to be a YouTuber. So here are the 60 most surprising things that I've never told you before. My biggest fears are spiders and heights. This is what happens if you put me in a fighter jet. YouTube is not the first business I've ever ran. When I was 12, I set up my first online store. I'd buy toys in bulk from China for a discount and then sell them individually on eBay. And then every time I'd sell out my stock, I'd place an even bigger order and get an even better price per unit. And this is not even the first YouTube channel I've set up. Before tech, I was really into animation. I'd see people making all these really cool stick figure fight sequences, and I tried to make my own on my little HP laptop. Keyword being tried. It was not good. It was only when I got to 14 and my brother bought me my first ever smartphone, funnily enough using his first ever paycheck, that I just fell in love with it and realized how passionate I was about tech. That's when this channel and everything else actually kicked off, which is a good reminder to not expect things to work out on your first stab at them. And then the first product that I ever got for free to test was about a year and a half after that. It was an Android tablet from the company Anal, which I was very careful not to mispronounce. I get a lot of questions about my family. So my mum came to the UK from India when she was 15, and it was very tough, right? Like, you had to do your exams, you had to do your degree in a language you didn't really get while juggling a job so you could afford to stay there. So Mum, what's your fact?
My fact is I'm just proud to be mother to a very gifted child.
Oh.
It's a mother's dream.
That's lovely, thank you. And my dad came from Leicester, which, if you know the UK, is basically just India again. Okay, so Dad, tell everyone a fact about you.
I'm a passionate fencer.
Is that why there's a sword in your office?
Yeah, it kind of helps me focus. You get to the point.
Textbook dad joke, really, isn't it? My biggest pet peeve is when people don't bring their chargers with them when they go places. On the bright side, I carry like 3 power banks and probably like 9 cables wherever I go. So, was it USB-C? I fidget, but when I fidget, I don't bite my nails or pull my hair. I just keep flipping my phone in the air. My brain has zero idea I'm doing it, and it seems to put everyone around me in a persistent state of anxiousness. I mean, the way I see it, this is an ongoing durability test. I am working right now. My favorite snack is always cereal. It's not unusual for me to have like 3 bowls in a day. Obviously, cereal goes in first, milk second. I'm not a psychopath. Before we had WhatsApp and iMessage, whenever someone would text me with something that didn't specifically need replying to, like, I'll pick you up from the station, I used to just reply to them with the word seen, which in hindsight I probably could have just said thanks. My teachers at school used to find me really annoying, not because I used to mess around or was in any way cool, but because I used to ask questions about everything. I didn't stop asking questions until I understood the topic from every single possible angle you could look at it from. And I guess that's kind of the feeling that I try to give you when you watch our videos now. The entire base of operations for literally everything we do is my old bedroom in my parents' house. It's kind of funny because we've had like tech CEOs come over and news reporters, and every single person walks into this room, takes a look around, and it's just like...
This isn't it, right?
The room only has 12 square meters of usable space, but I love it. It's the perfect example of just work with what you have. Fancy studios are fun, but you don't need it. So, when we film our videos, I sit here, and Josh over there basically moves between each of these 2 seats to get to the 2 secondary angles. Problem is, there isn't enough space to navigate, so once every 3 videos we knock the camera.
Ooh, sorry.
And it takes us a full 30 minutes to get it lined up so everything's symmetrical again. Oh my gosh, you've actually properly... That's a shocker. Actually, now's a good time to meet the team. They are all here. We need a bigger room. So this is Josh. He does most of the filming. You hold yourself to a very high standard, right? You like every shot to have meaning. Josh and I do a lot of late nights together as well. We get excited about certain video concepts. We decide they need to go out soon, and we don't sleep till they're done. Josh is showing me his fact now. Are you looking for Milo? So Josh's fact is about how much Milo loves him, and he can't find Milo.
Milo.
He's not here, Josh. So then there's Joes, who is the first person I ever hired, and you've actually taught me a lot about what looks good in a video and what doesn't, because I could not edit before you started.
My fact is Barack Obama follows me on, Twitter or X?
What?
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, no.
Barack Obama follows 553,000 people.
Yeah.
He's
and
a bot.
I'm one of them. He's not responded to my DM though.
Big fan of your work.
Milo.
Then there is Alex, who is the most technically proficient person I know. I feel like you use scientific methods to calculate like the perfect color grade for each scene.
At least I try.
We also are pretty convinced you work for some sort of secret agency.
I'm not gonna say anything about that.
What is your fact?
So I actually made this crazy Python script that from now on can just edit our videos for us.
What?
You just press one button, takes a couple of seconds, and yeah.
What have you done?
It's all ready.
So then there's Mark, who is a very funny guy, edits a lot of the more whimsical videos. What's a fact about you?
I hid myself in the video.
You hid yourself?
Yeah, I made myself look really old.
Was that you? I thought it was your dad.
Nah, mate, he left a while ago.
So that is the long form video team, but there's more people that we need to make sure that all the other stuff happens. For example, Connor. So Connor is a writer and researcher. You've spent a lot of time looking for a lot of the weirder products that we feature in our videos.
Yes, I've been very desensitized.
To the internet. What's a fact about you?
I play the diatonic button accordion.
And that is... So then there's Jack, who is Shorts Master. So he... I do feel like Shorts Master today. But Jack is insane. Like, he plans the shorts, he comes and films the shorts, he takes the shorts away, he cuts them, he edits them. It is a lot for one person. So what's your fact?
As well as the Shorts Master, I am the Cookie Master.
No, you've been saving those. Oh, Mr. Who's the Boss cookies. This is nut free.
I hope so.
Let's come to Josh. Jack brought cookies. He was hiding them this whole time. We actually have something very special for Jack that we're just about to give him now. We've just worked out that Jack himself, because he owns Shorts, has managed to get us a total of 10 million subscribers between our Shorts channel and our main channel. Jack, we have something for you. So this was the entire team's idea because, funnily enough, the Shorts channel combined with the main channel has just hit 10 million subscribers. This is
Heavy.
our way of saying thank you.
Come on. It's amazing. I never thought I would ever get one of these.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You smashed it, Jack. You smashed it. And then the person who keeps it all together. Oh, I just swiped you there. So Joseph is our everything man. We want to book a location for a video. He's on it. Start a fire so we can test a fire extinguishing.
Build a fire in the middle of your garden, then put out the fire.
What's a fact about you?
In my first week, I was asked and tasked to go to North Carolina to film Mr. Beast as like a B-cam secondary cameraman. So if you didn't like that video or how it was shot, I'm sorry.
That was like our best performing video ever.
I guess I did a good job.
I don't spend any money from this channel buying fancy clothes or fancy cars for myself. I actually don't even own a car. Literally all of my top 10 biggest expenses have just been on things for either this channel or family. But hypothetically, my dream car would be the Lotus Evija. It just looks like a spaceship, it's insane. One of my favorite things to do if I get a weekend off is, it's very weird, it's process refinement. So I'll look at things that me or someone in my family currently does and think, how do we make this more efficient? Like, I just recently realized how much time it takes to mow the lawn at my parents' house. So I managed to find an automatic gardening robot that can do it for them. Or like at my in-laws' house, seeing how much time that they would spend de-weeding their garden, I decided to just kill the weeds once, cover the mud with a plastic sheet so they don't grow back, and then turn it into a zen-like stone feature. I find it really satisfying to put in a little bit of short-term effort to save a lot of long-term effort. But there are a few things that I do like to get for myself. Like, my guilty pleasure is probably my Pokemon card collection. I've always loved Pokemon, and so when you combine my attachment to the brand with this lottery ticket-like feeling you get every single time you open a new pack, it's hard to say no. I'm actually going to Japan later this year, mostly just to go to Pokemon stores and Pokemon cafes. And then aside from cards, I'm also just really into gaming. Ooh. It was like our 15th attempt. I was so passionate about consoles and games that really, that was most of my content when I first started this channel. After the consoles, I then spent a long time covering exclusively phones, like just back-to-back-to-back phone videos. And only recently thought, what if we just tested a gaming video? It couldn't just be any gaming video, of course. It had to be Mr. Who's the Boss quality, which meant that I decided to buy every single PlayStation brand new, as well as a TV from the time of each one's launch. I filmed the entire history, and the joy it brought me to see that people loved that video so much that I love too was incredible. My actual favorite drink is a thick chocolate milkshake. But ever since I did the whole fitness transformation thing last year, we subbed those out for kombucha and ginger ale. It's actually kind of funny, I buy them in industrial sized batches now. My recent obsession is board games, specifically Seven Wonders, Catan, and Ticket to Ride. They're all actually strategy games, which says something about me. My favorite console of all time is the PSP. My favorite game on it, and the one I've sunk the most hours into, is Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. I try not to think about what this works out to in days, but I do remember being quite surprised to learn that my playtime did pass 1,000 hours. And then my favorite phone game, by far, is Bloons Tower Defense 6. I've always loved the strategy that you get with tower defense games. The idea of being the decision maker, positioning and upgrading your forces in the most tactically advantageous way. I actually like it so much that most of the videos I watch on YouTube to relax myself are videos about this Bloons game that I play, which may sound really weird and sad, but everyone has their niches, right? If I wasn't a YouTuber, I'd probably be an artist. Just spend days sitting in fields with my fiancée Drisha, painting what I see. It's a good day. I don't know why I'm doing it like this. You're right here. So, Drisha, let's get the most important question out of the way. What phone do you use?
I have an iPhone 13 Pro.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, that's you. I actually convinced you to get an iPhone as well.
Okay, she's right. We got engaged on the 6th of February, 2023. It was a pretty fun video. Go watch it if you haven't. What was it like?
It was the most unbelievable, unreal, surreal, insane day of my life.
How many times have we watched the video back together?
We are half of those views.
Sometimes if I want to make her emotional, I just play the song that I played at the end of that because...
Please don't play it now.
But probably the biggest bit of news is that Drisha has left her job to join us. So you used to work at the BBC,
Yep.
then you worked at TikTok,
Yep.
now you work for Mrwhosetheboss on YouTube.
Yeah, I've made it round the media world.
You're kind of like a media mogul.
I'll take that.
We recently did a spreadsheet and we totted up how many hours I've been working in a week. It came to 90.
Too many hours. You're the big picture, creative, genius vision.
Keep going.
You know
Yeah,
exactly
keep
what's
going.
going. I'm the detail, organization, love a spreadsheet.
And now you're on the team. What's your fact?
It's gonna be controversial, but for me, it is clearly milk before cereal.
Oh.
It's always better.
We get a lot of products in for reviews. And so one of the biggest questions that I get asked is, what do you do with all of them? Well, we actually built a flowchart. Okay, fine. Drisha built the flowchart because, I mean, she is the most organized person I know. So with any given product, we can answer a bunch of quick yes and no questions, like could this be used in an upcoming video? Is there a family or team member who would want this? And the answer for what to do with it will just pop out the other end. For the last 2 years, it's true that Rick Astley has made an appearance in every single one of our videos bar 2. Why? Well, because I'm never gonna... I just started a Spotify account, which has one song, which is the song that I proposed to Drisha with. I'll leave a link below to follow me. So when you see our videos, I always try and make sure everything looks neat and tidy and polished, but behind the scenes, it's not always a smooth sailing. Like a while ago, we made a video about inventions that were out of this world, and what you saw was actually the 3rd time we tried to make that video. The first time, the cameras crashed, and we literally that day had to head into town and go from store to store to store to see if anyone could repair it within a few hours. The second time, the camera worked, but it turns out that we were recording with an SD card that wasn't fast enough to store the quality of footage that we were recording in. So we finished the entire video, got to the editing stage, and then realized we actually had no file. Or, one time, as part of a review for a phone, we were filming a sponsor section of a case for that phone. I was really excited about it, because I've been told it's a really great case company. But you know how as part of our case testing, we just kind of casually chuck the phone around against a tree or against a brick wall? So I did that, but then the phone in question broke. That's actually an under-exaggeration. It shattered, which meant we had to call off the ad, we had to tell the company that we didn't want to work with them going forward, and that the review we were about to make and had completely scripted, we could no longer film. Not a good day. Kind of like right now, actually. There was a time when I got really obsessed with robot dances, so I spent a long time on YouTube looking at tutorials, trying to figure out how to do it myself. And now my neck hurts. I am really trying to improve the quality of our top-down set. All of those unboxings and product shots from this perspective. And for that, we used to have a tiny little camera that was fixed up here. We have just upgraded to a cinema camera resting on a counterbalanced jib, so you can move it around freely like this. And we have also, just last week, rigged that to basically the best microphone you can get. I want to get to a stage where when I'm unboxing a product and recording it, that the experience is so visceral that you as the viewer feel like you're there right next to me experiencing it too. Let me know in upcoming videos if we're getting close to that vision. couple of slightly less fun things about me. So I have something called restless leg syndrome, which basically means I find it really hard to sit still in one place. So you'll constantly find me shuffling and changing positions. That's actually a big part of why I have a desk that's both sitting and standing, as well as an entire assortment of things for my legs to do while I'm working. I also have allergies, like a lot of allergies. Everything from peanuts to soya to grass to cats, which I only found out after it was too late. And then recently, my body kind of went into overdrive. It was really strange, but I think just the stress of trying to manage like every single role on this team at the same time, it started making me physically react to foods that I was normally fine with, just throwing up, not sleeping, all related to stress. So I decided to head to a tech-free cabin in the middle of nowhere to try and separate myself from it. I went with Drisha. We locked our phones in a box completely for 4 full days. We went back to basics with a pen and paper and a map as our only form of entertainment, and honestly, I think it cured me. It was one of the best things I've ever done. And besides, there is just so much to be grateful for. Like late last year, we won the Streamy Awards for the best tech channel in the world for the 2nd time in a row. We just got nominated for the 3rd time, and it just gives me shivers thinking about this and then thinking about what I thought my life was gonna be when I was 14 and I just started. And we just hit 15 million subscribers.
She just hit 15 million subscribers.
And given that it's not just me solo winging it anymore, I feel like my team has played just as big a part of it as I have. So I actually got every single one of us a custom-made 15 million sub play button. They're really cool. They're like Mr. Who's the Boss blue, they're made of metal. I'm pretty proud of this. And then the craziest one is that we're closing in on overtaking Apple. This channel, started by a geeky 14-year-old who thought he'd be lucky to have a job, could surpass the most profitable, prolific corporation in the world. So if you can help us get there, well, that would be the most insane thing I've ever witnessed.
Sorry.
Milo?